Babe, just leave it alone. I'll get it because I'm about to go online. So please just leave it alone and I'll get it. Hey, boo. I didn't know you was going to be on early.
Lady K, are you ready?
I'm just running to the
Kiki,
door.
are you ready? Buy you diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies then. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. See what's popping in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hazing. Enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den. So there's no confusion. They love what they do. You are locked in
I'm having a
to
day.
the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Okay, everybody. Hey, y'all. Welcome to
Hey,
the
hey,
Ladies
hey,
Den.
hey.
Yeah. Y'all, I have had the day from hell yet once again. Oh, Jesus. Just, yeah. It's been a day from hell. Again, yet once again. But anyway, welcome to the Ladies Den. We have been lately turn this light up because I haven't had anything set up because I've been out. Um, it is Mental Health Awareness Month as well as Lupus Awareness Month.
Right.
Also, y'all, please forgive me. I have no voice. Don't know what happened. Went to bed, woke up, and I had no voice. So it's in and out. Um, so the last 2 weeks we have been talking about mental health, and mental illnesses. And we have broken down two mental illnesses, anxiety and depression. And we had a therapist on who kind of broke that down and to let people know what that looks like, what the signs and symptoms and support and things of that nature, and what all of that looks like. So we decided that we wanted to add in lupus awareness, which for me, we will have another guest. We have two guests on tonight. Miss
Yep.
Adrian, and then we're gonna have Miss Tamika. Tamika is my cousin, family blood cousin who deals with lupus every day. And we're gonna talk to them about lupus and what that looks like for them, and like signs and symptoms and things that we could notice in people around us that could be possibly suffering from this disease and not know it.
Right.
Um, it's a lot that is excuse me, y'all. I gotta answer this. Hold on. Hello.
So as she was saying that today we're going to have two guests that I coined the phrase lupus warriors because when you're dealing with lupus, lupus is considered an autoimmune disease, which means your immune system fights against you versus fighting for you. And so we're going to have Miss Tamika on, who is a lupus warrior, and we're going to have Miss Adrienne Allende. Adrienne is the ambassador with the Lupus Foundation, the Georgia chapter, and they currently have a campaign going on right now. It's the 31 days. My laptop has died, so I'm on my phone right now, so I can't really see everything I need to see. But Adrian and Tamika will be on shortly, and we'll be able to have a good conversation with them about how lupus affects their life on an everyday, daily basis. What's up, Miss Kiki? What's
What's
happening?
happening, Lady K? What's happening?
Girl, I'm over
AKA
here
my Hilda.
having all kinds of technical issues.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
Girl, my laptop is over here talking about please wait. And so I'm like, okay, let me pull out the phone, do everything from the phone. So we gonna see
Yeah,
how this goes.
I've been spinning for a minute.
Girl, it's spinning. But Kawana had to take a phone call, but just telling the people that we got two lupus warriors coming on, and we're about to have this conversation about not only about how they deal with lupus on a daily basis, but how that shit connects to your mental health. Because when you're dealing with something where your body can turn against you at any point in time for no reason,
yes,
that messes with your mental. I deal with lupus's first cousin, rheumatoid. And lupus normally hits or affects the soft tissue. Rheumatoid affects the joints, all the joints. I'm talking about, have you ever thought about waking up and your jaw joints decided not to cooperate? So you couldn't open your mouth to do anything, including eat. I ate soup all day from a straw when that happened. It was not a beautiful thing. But when you when you're dealing with someone, your body turns against you just at the drop of a hat. That fucks with your mental.
And that's a hell of a analogy. But like you said, the body literally turns against you.
Yeah. Yep. Literally turns against you at the drop of a hat. No reason. You were fine when you went to bed.
Right. Just because it felt like it.
Yep. Wake up and one of your feet is swollen. What the hell? Why? Why is this happening? We don't know. What the hell? Anyway, how was your day, ma'am?
Today was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, you have to continue to think positive and happy thoughts.
Facts.
Because you know that little person play on your mental.
Yeah.
That little man tapping on your shoulder plays on your mental.
Okay, and I'm looking in our green room, and I see my girl Adrian in there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. I'm doing all of this from the phone, so I
working. She working it out, baby. She working it out. She working it out.
Hey. I'm trying to get to the sound effects. Kiki, can you do the applause? I can't get
Hold on.
Y'all don't need it. I applaud myself.
She'll applaud herself. Okay, then.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I bring it.
Welcome to the ladies' den once again. Adrienne. Hey, all right. And you were actually our guest last year. That was our first year running, and you were our special guest. And we were chit-chatting a little bit about lupus and how it can fuck with you. Can fuck with you.
True story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the part though. Like you were talking about having the rheumatoid, and I have rheumatoid arthritis also. So I had to actually have the TMJ surgery. It's just the fact. It was funny that you were saying about your jaw because I had to have the cartilage in my jawbone replaced. So people don't understand just regular everyday things. It's like
every day.
People talk to me on a daily and they're just like, oh, I don't know how you do it. I don't have no other fucking choice, man.
You have to
have no
have no
choice.
choice.
That's it.
No choice.
Yeah. And I got like there's so much stuff out here that I feel like I need to be doing. So I'm out here doing it, you know?
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
doing it well, I might add. Doing it well.
you we have coming up on Saturday the Lupus Walk in Augusta. So I'm gonna be
Okay.
in Augusta this weekend for a walk. We just had the Lupus Walk in Atlanta on April 27th.
Okay.
And like I said, it's Saturday in Augusta. In September, we have a walk in Columbus and in Macon. So it's, we
Okay.
trying to really, the Georgia chapter is trying to get out here and really, really spread awareness because I do a lot of health fairs. And when I go to the
Mm-hmm.
health fairs and ask the people what they know about lupus, either they know real wrong information or
Mm-hmm.
they know somebody that died. That's it.
Right.
And the thing is that yo, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. People living with lupus, there's no cure. So unless you die in some weird accident, you're going to die from a complication of lupus. So
Yep.
everybody with lupus dies from lupus. So
Yeah.
when people are telling the story that that's all they know is a family member that passed away, so I need
Mm-hmm.
for people to understand that there's a lot of us out here who are living, you know?
Living with it.
And that's the
Yep.
thing. Like I dig the fact that you got somebody else that's going to come on and tell their story about what they're doing daily. Because it's necessary to get the word out there. Like, yo, I've been through things. And you both know me personally. Been to the
Yeah.
house, sat in, popped it up, done. I
Yeah.
can't walk. Trying to move around on a regular basis is difficult. Um, I can't do certain things, and it's like, yo, I'm glad I could still use my hands. And with the rheumatoid arthritis, it's difficult to even hold a pencil sometimes. So
Girl,
as we
what?
change, yeah, like yo, I've had to have people to help me to brush my teeth, to comb my hair, to do the
Yeah.
things that people think is regular stuff. I don't have buttons on shirts. The fuck I'm gonna do with a button?
Right. Can't button it.
Yeah, I can't do any of that. And it's like, but I'm still out here, and I'm for the things that I do, I get it done because if I
Amen.
don't, then who? That's
Right,
the thing
right.
people don't understand. Like it's not going to do itself, and ain't
Right.
nobody out here rushing to help the people that don't look sick. Oh, but you look so healthy, man. Listen, I
Right.
have had 3 heart attacks. My liver failed. My kidneys failed. We already had the conversation about the joint issues with the rheumatoid arthritis. And it's like, man, I wake up every day, and all I can do is say that I hope that I get another 24 every time that I could wake up and hope for another 24. That's all I could do. But I'm doing it, and I'm doing it well.
And doing it
Absolutely.
well.
I'm doing
Might
it
I
well.
add?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So
You already
we
know.
did, there you go. Thank you. Oh, really? It's gonna just cut it out. So we didn't do this part yet, y'all. So what is everybody sipping on? I know Adrian got water that looks like beer.
Yes, all of my bottled water says beer. Those bottles be off like a motherfucker.
Hi,
I
Kiki,
got
what
a
you
I got a
sipping?
coffee cup that says my other coffee is a beer. Y'all don't know.
Hey, Kiki, what you sipping on?
I ain't sipping on nothing at the moment. I'll get something in a minute.
Oh, okay. I got me some Rosé Pinot Noir. Did I say it right?
New war.
Pinot Noir.
You
Pinot
war.
Noir.
What?
I said it right. Pinot
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 Noir.
Noir.
war.
Uh-huh.
War.
But what quarter go? You know what? I think everybody having issues today for real.
Yeah.
There she go.
Y'all know
Got
I don't know what I be
the
doing. I don't know what I be
difficulties.
doing.
Lord Jesus.
Listen,
Corner, what you
after the
sipping
day
on?
I am sipping on some
Whatever it is, you deserve it. What is that?
The moonshine.
Oh, you deserve
I'm gonna
it.
say that's some
Yeah,
shine right there. Yeah.
yeah.
White chocolate, strawberry cream. Mm, yeah.
That
Mhm.
sounds
That
like a stomach ache right there.
that sounds like some stomach issues right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds like a stomach ache
But
right
you
there.
deserve it.
Oh,
After your day today, you
yeah.
definitely deserve it. So go ahead, girl, drink it up.
Like the whole bottle before the end of the night.
Oh, hi. Well, for the people that are coming on just
No,
now,
oh, Jesus.
what
Nothing. Go ahead.
we currently have one of our two guests in
Mhm.
the building, Miss Senora Adrian Allende.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah,
Who
yeah,
is
yeah.
Y'all don't hype me up like you do. My head is already big.
so she is of the Lupus Foundation of America, the Georgia chapter. Did I say that right? My laptop is still coming up, so I'm trying to go off of this, and you know that's foggy sometimes.
That is correct. Lupus Foundation of America, Georgia chapter.
Georgia chapter, and she is joining us again for our second run because she joined us
Yeah.
last year when we were brand spanking new, trying to figure stuff out,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
she's
That
back
was.
again.
I
Tag
am
team.
absolutely here and for it.
Oh my God.
So, Adrian, I saw something on your page. Is the 31? Is it 31 faces, 31
The
days?
31 faces of hope. So
Okay.
it's a campaign that was started a couple of years back, and what it is basically is because May is Lupus Awareness Month, they take a person's story daily and tell it. They post it on the foundation page. They post it on all of the social media pages for the person who is the person for the day. So they have the option to type a story or to do a video. And
Okay.
most of the time, the people choose to type their story. And
Sorry, that's me. Go ahead, I'm listening.
a lot of times, people don't really want to show what they're looking like in the moment because it's tough. Like I had to go outside today and like I said, y'all know me. I don't really go outside that often, especially when the sun is shining. So
Right.
I had to go outside and do some stuff today and I'm just like, all right, that was the extent of what I got going on for like the next 2 days, you know?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. So a lot of times people don't really put
Is that
themselves
me?
out.
Yeah.
I don't have
You
no
have
sound
any
on.
volume up?
Turn your volume down on something.
I don't have no volume up. Everything
You
is
just did
gone.
something.
Is it
Okay.
gone? Is it gone now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, y'all. Sorry.
Well, like I said, the people have the option to either do a video or to type their story, and most people choose to type it as opposed to doing the video. But they break it down into categories, so it's not just people, excuse me, people living with lupus. It's also people who tell their story as being a caregiver for somebody living with lupus, or people who are parents of children with lupus, or the other way around. Sometimes there are children that are having to take care of their parents, or even just see their parents going through the process. So it just breaks it down and tells the stories, but it's called 31 Faces of Hope because, again, like I said, man, there's people that are grieving the loss of a loved one who had lupus, but if you let them tell their story, they'll tell you that they really didn't realize how serious the lupus was
Mm-hmm.
until their family member passed away. They didn't
Right.
understand exactly what it was or how it truly affected people. And once they lost their family member, then now they're more involved and engaged in finding a cure so the next person doesn't have to share that same struggle of finding
Right.
out the hard way, you know? So I mean, it's a really good platform, and it gives a lot of people the opportunity to tell their story, how they're affected by lupus, and if people take the time out to actually read the folk stories, then they'll start to see that even if everybody's going through something completely different, there are tons of similarities. Because one of the biggest issues is talking to somebody and feeling like you're the only one that's going through those situations. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you started your conversation with, what do you know about having these issues? Girl, I know.
Right.
I,
Right.
I know firsthand. But you wouldn't know if people didn't take the time out to actually open up and speak on it. So it's a really great platform where they're giving folks the option and opportunity to tell their story of living with lupus.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned earlier that there was some walks that were about to happen coming up.
Yeah, the the Augusta Walk is on Saturday, the 17th. Is that, yeah. What's today? Today's Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. So whatever Saturday is that, that's 17th, 18th, one of
17.
those.
I mean 18. 18.
The 18th.
What whatever it is that's happening on Saturday is Saturday
You
in
know what?
Augusta. And then
You say whatever it is.
in the house so much, I lose track of days. And since school is about to be over, I'm gonna forget what day of the week it is. I count 5 days that Ethan say I'm going to school. I don't
Hey,
look. I'm lost.
I
And they
understand.
also have the Columbus and Macon walks are in September, and obviously I'm not sure about the exact days, but I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay. Well, our other guest just got in the chat. Tamika, are you are you there, dear?
She's in the green
Hey,
room.
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
So
Good evening, ladies.
so y'all, this is my cousin, my number one cousin, my best friend, my everything. This is my everything. She she is also a lupus survivor living with lupus, but you would not know it. She
Not
has a
new.
dance school. She's a coach. She also has an event planning company with her mom and her sister. She marches and walks in the parades with her dance team for Mardi Gras and any other time that New Orleans is having a celebration. So you really wouldn't know she has lupus unless you know her and you know when she's having those bad days and she can't get out of bed because she hurts so bad and just different things. But you really wouldn't know that she is suffering with this disease on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
So actually before we I get into questions, but from you and Miss Adrian, I would like for you guys to really break down and tell people exactly what lupus is, because a lot of people don't know what it is, and what it does to your system.
So, lupus
Tamika.
is an autoimmune disease. It basically attacks all of your organs. So, you are attacking your own self, basically. Your white blood cells attack your red blood cells, so it's actually hard to fight off an infection. Just recently, 2 weeks ago, there was a 24-hour virus going around. My entire family had it. 24 hours later, they were better. A week and a half later, I'm still suffering. Um, you look good on the outside, but on the inside, not so good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have good days and you have bad days. A good day consists of you trying to do everything in one day, be superwoman, because you know the next day may be a day that you can't get out the bed, you can't move, you have joint pain. Um, I could be sitting here right now, healthy, talking to you guys. The next 5 minutes, I feel like a bus hit me. So it's hard to explain. Like Kay said, for people that don't know, just don't know. So just trying to get out and educate people. Sometimes we have illnesses and we have no idea what it is. Doctors don't know, they're running a whole bunch of tests because supposedly it's genetic. Um, we have not figured out, besides myself, who in the immediate family has it. So the genetic part of it may be so, maybe not so. We're not sure. But I do encourage everyone just to get tested because the earlier you know, the easier it is for them to help you, get you on the right track. I don't like the medications, but I mean, they do help me get by, get through. Because, like I say, I do a lot. I own
A
a
lot.
dance company. We just recently added major red and flag throws to it. I have a nursery in the daytime. Run a catering company with my mom and sister. A lot of volunteer work, a lot of give back work, volunteering at local parks. It's just a lot. People always like, you do too much, you do too much. And I'm like, I just feel like, what is too much? If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So it's a very tricky disease. But for the most part, I don't let it, own my life or take over what I'm doing. I just feel like I'm gonna live life to the fullest. Whatever God has planned is gonna happen. But I am gonna live my life to the fullest. But I do encourage any and everybody. If there's just something that you're going through, fatigue all day long. I could sleep 24 hours, get out the bed. I just want to go back to sleep someday. Kid, tell you, yesterday was one of them days. That last baby went home yesterday, and I was like, hey, can I just go? Can I just be on it? You can't look at me right now because I just feel terrible all of a sudden. So
Yeah,
it's
she
just,
thought it was yesterday. I say, no, baby, it's tomorrow, not today.
I'm like, thank you, Lord. Let me get myself together. But, it's really a day by day disease. But if you feeling fatigued all the time, your mind going to places, you get brain fog. Some days I'm driving and I'm just like, oh Lord, where am I going? It makes you forget things. But if you have it, don't let it get you down because stress is one of the biggest triggers for lupus. It's hard for us to say, don't stress, but I tell my kids and people that know me all the time, God has a strange way of giving you things to change your life and to make you better. And, you know, I always want to just pop off at any given minute. You could look at Kay out your side eye and I got something to say,
It runs in the
so
family, y'all. It runs in the family.
it's just, so I think that this was my lesson to, girl, calm down, sit down, stop it. It's not that serious. His way of showing me that, I just need to calm myself down a little bit and, look at things in a better perspective. But
Mhm.
encourage
So,
yourself, educate yourself.
Yeah.
so for both of you guys, Adrian, I'm gonna start with you. What were some of the symptoms that you were feeling that even made you or your parents say, we need to have her checked for something else? What were those signs and symptoms you were feeling? And then Tamika, you can answer after her.
For me, I didn't have any of those things. I
We
went to the
can't hear
hospital.
you. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So, I didn't have. I went to the hospital because I had an ear infection, and they gave me an antibiotic shot, and I went into a coma. So when I came out of the coma, they said that my kidneys had failed, and I had lupus, and some other, they went down a list of a whole bunch of things, and I'm just looking at them like, yeah, I got a fucking ear infection, because you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not processing no parts of what they were saying. So they had done a kidney biopsy and all kinds of extra stuff while I was unconscious, and I stayed in the hospital for the first 3 weeks that I was in the hospital. They were I kept getting random fevers. I kept having all of this extra stuff that was going on. And then I had some spots on my ankles. So they started running other blood work. it said that my platelet count was low, so I needed to have a blood transfusion. And they gave me the blood transfusion, and my heart stopped. So I was clinically dead for a couple of minutes. Um, which caused a little mild brain damage. So, like Tamika was just saying, they call it a lupus fog, where it causes you to like just forget. And people will say, "Oh, it's with age, it's with this, it's with that." It's not that. It's so completely different that we can like be in the middle of conversation and stop because everything went blank. Like whatever I was talking about, whatever you just said, whatever is gone, and there ain't no finding a way back to that part. So because my heart has stopped and I was, like I said, clinically dead for a while, I have mild brain damage, so it's a different level of fog. Like it's just a forget it. We just gonna have to start a whole new conversation because I don't know what the fuck we was talking about. What was you talking about? We were, you know what I'm saying? Like it's done. And so realistically, after all of this crazy stuff happened while I was in the hospital, they started giving me information. Like the reason I am a ambassador for the Lupus Foundation, but I also work there. Like I do the bookkeeping at the Lupus Foundation. Like I'm on their payroll doing actual work. So when I go out to the health fairs and I do the different things, it's like I tell people here for the Georgia chapter, I'm the only person that actually has lupus that works at the foundation. So if somebody needs to talk, they got questions, they wanted such and such, it's like, yo, just call the foundation and hey, let me talk to the one that has lupus. They will transfer the calls, they will tell people to call me directly. I'm about to start a support group in August. We when I was in the hospital, somebody came through. One of the nurses knew somebody that volunteered at the Lupus Foundation. I stayed in the hospital for like a month and a half, and this lady came and she sat with me. She brought a whole bunch of information, pamphlets, different things. And when I was looking at it and reading over it, I probably had lupus since I was 12, and I wasn't diagnosed until I was 31.
Oh,
So
damn.
I went to college in Puerto Rico. I had sun poisoning 3 times. I still to this day don't even know what the hell that means because I know that I need vitamin D in my system to live. So being allergic to the sun, and that was without like a lot of the medications that they give you for lupus tell you to stay out of the sun because the medication causes you to have problems. I was having problems being outside long before they ever tried to put me onto any medication. So just looking at a bunch of things, I would be sick, but not a regular sick, like something fucking ridiculous, and then it would get treated, and then a couple of months to a year later, something extra ridiculous again. Like when I was 24, I had some kind of cancer that only affects your reproductive organs. Where cancer coming from? You know what I'm saying? It's like 'cause there's so much other stuff going on in your body, it doesn't know how to process whatever it is that is or isn't supposed to be going on. So it's like, let's make a healthy spot for things that shouldn't be here, and let's go ahead and fuck with everything that should be. So, realistically, I tell people all the time when I'm out at these health fairs, if you have an issue that is technically normal but you're having an abnormal response, you more than likely have an autoimmune disorder. So, like Tamika was just saying, that you got people in the house that had a 24-hour bug that actually went away. If you have a cold, your cold is supposed to last between 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
If you have those symptoms more than 5 days, you more than likely have an autoimmune disorder. People should get tested. If you have been living in the exact same spot for 10 years and never had problems with allergies, and then one day you wake up and your eyes are leaking and you can't breathe and your nose is all stopped up, and this is the first time that you're responding to some shit that been here for the past 10 years, you should go and get tested. It is that simple of a thing that should cause people to go outside and see whether or not they have an autoimmune disorder. Because it could have been something simple. Like I would have never known if I didn't end up having that ear infection. I would have died not knowing that my kidneys hadn't been processed.
Um, and you know, it's crazy because I think about that all the time. Like I know I've been in 15,000 car accidents and I know I've had 1,500 surgeries. But there are mornings when I wake up and every bone in my body is hurting. And I often think about that. Like my cousin, she's the only one that's with lupus. Like maybe I need to be checked for lupus. Not that I want it, but I'm just saying that like every bone in my body should not be hurting. It should not be hurting. Only the affected areas should be hurting. But when I tell you, even my fingers hurt. So it's like, what the hell? But yeah, you know, I don't know. And this is something that we have talked about before on our show about people knowing their family history, knowing
Right.
your family history, telling your kids what's wrong with you, telling your kids what your mama had, your daddy had, their grandparents, because these kids need to know their family history because as they're getting older, things are happening to them. They don't know where it comes from, what's going on. You know, mama sick or something happened to her. She passes away. She's gone. Whatever the case might be. Grandparents pass away. They're gone. But you don't know anything. You go to the doctor, and these kids, but now especially like Tamika, your kids, they're at that age now. Jamie don't need you to go to the doctor, but when they're asking her family history, hey, does she really know all of her family history? You know,
Right.
Sean and Javier, my boys. Since all of this stuff has been going on and we've been talking about it more, I've been making sure they know Nunu's family history. They know everything that's going on with me. You know, they know Papa's, my dad, they call him Papa. They know his history. You know, they know my sister history. So they have to know these things. And a lot of times, you know, we as Black people, we talk about it. We want to keep these things away from our kids because one, we don't want them to worry. Two, we don't want to be pitied and all that kind of stuff. But there's a time and a place to sit down and say, hey, listen, this is what you need to know now that you're old enough to go to the doctor on your own.
Yeah.
Mama ain't gonna be there with you. Mama can't be there with you. This is what you need to know. If they ask you your family history, even if we gotta write it down, you know, write it down on a piece of paper. Here, when you go to the doctor, take this
Yeah.
so that they'll know and then they'll have a better understanding of some of the things that we're going through and that we're dealing with. They're like, okay, we got to figure this out. But if they know your mama had breast cancer and cancer runs in your family, then they're going to automatically be like, okay, we need to do a CA-125. We need to do a cancer test.
Right. Right.
We need to see that hereditary cancer line. You
Yeah.
know, but if they don't know that, then your kids and you are going through all these extensive all these extensive tests
Yeah.
that you don't really need. Y'all heard that, huh?
That's that
Testing.
moonshine.
Girl, look, okay. All these, you know, tests that they really don't have to go through had they had the knowledge of their family history. So, cousin, I'm gonna ask you to answer the question because I really don't know when you were diagnosed. So, what were the signs and the symptoms that my auntie said you going to the doctor?
So I found out when I was 33. I'm now 49 and a half. Um, I'm not sure when mine started.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, she froze. She gone.
Come back to me.
Okay, there you go. You back. You back. Oh, we can't hear you now. We still can't hear you.
Uh-uh. No, Tamika.
We still can't hear you, cousin. Make sure you're off mute.
She's not on mute.
Oh, okay.
My
You
mic
be
is
able to
on.
see it.
Uh-oh.
She's got to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, what you making?
I see us
Oh.
going over there.
So this little girl had bought a couple of small, like little kids' dresses. So I had to take the dresses apart because she wants to recreate. She's getting ready to graduate next week, and she
Mm-hmm.
wants to recreate her kindergarten graduation dress for her high school graduation now.
Okay.
So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Different.
so I had to take apart the she wanted it to be the same fabric, but it's technically for real a little kid's dress. So she bought a size 16 little girls dresses, and I took them apart, and so now I'm piecing it back together. So
To make one big dress.
yes,
Oh, wow.
listen, I
That's
give the
what's
people
up.
what they ask for.
And you do.
Absolutely,
And you do.
absolutely. So that's what
Wow.
I'm working on right now.
Well, while we waiting on Tamika to come back, let me just ask you, Adrian. I know because mental health awareness and lupus awareness is in the same month. So I just want to ask you, like, being diagnosed and knowing you're living with this disease every day, how has that worked on your mental health?
So honestly, because of my life, like just the way I was living growing up, I'm a whole thug in these streets. You know what I'm saying? I've been out here doing, was banging, got shot, the whole, like, I made it through so much stuff to get to a point where it's like, I just sit back and mind my business. Like everybody knows, I don't go outside because I'm not built for outside people. Like folks could come here all day long, but I'm not trying to go out and interact and be around other people because I'm the table flipping Jesus. I'm not the sharing loaves and fish. You know what I'm saying? We ain't no camaraderie here. Something about this ain't weighing right. We, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't do all that. So by the time I ended up actually being diagnosed with the lupus, I was already living so calm and peaceful that I refuse to allow any of this to bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just get up, like I said, I do because I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that everything's taken care of because I got sons and I
Yeah.
had to make sure that these boys know how to take care of themselves if I'm not around because
Right.
there was life that was guaranteeing that I shouldn't have been around a long time ago. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like my regular life choices put me into situations where I could have been not here at this point right now a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So to be in a position to where I work because I choose to, I don't have to get up and go outside and do no extra stuff. I sit outside and chill on the porch. My day consists of whatever the fuck I feel like doing today. I can't even complain about it because I had to find a peace with myself a long time before I was ever diagnosed with the lupus. So once I ended up being diagnosed with the lupus, I couldn't even be mad because it's just another thing that I got to learn how to live with. And that's what I do. It's a daily thing. Like, shit, it took me a minute to get to a point of understanding how much is too much. And what I'm learning now is that last year too much ain't the same as this year too much. Like now I know that 2 days ago I did too much trying to compare to what was too much last year. So I still gotta progressively continue to accept that this is becoming my daily living and I gotta take it however it's coming, but I'm taking it because I'm still living. So I just refuse to allow anything to bring me down because my day is based on how I'm living my day. If I'm in any type of competition, my only opponent is me. So
Amen
it's
today.
going to be a good day every day.
Okay.
Okay.
But I do know though that they, a lot of times it's unfortunate for people living with any chronic illness that I know living with lupus, if I go to the hospital, if I go to the emergency room and tell them I have lupus, that they would automatically put it on to give me pain medicine, and I can't take any of the narcotics or any of the things because it's in my chart that I eat a lot of weed. Y'all trying to kill me, giving me medicine I don't need. Pain was the last thing I came in this motherfucker for. I wasn't here for none of that, but they do it, and that's the that's how they try to treat it, and it's like
Hmm.
you creating junkies and you making it seem like it's their fault that they're addicted to these meds, but you don't even ask them whether or not they want it. You just give it to them.
Right.
I don't want any of that, and I don't need it, and it's big. Once they open my charts, they see it because you have to speak up for yourself and let them know, like, yo, my lupus and this other person's lupus ain't the same
Ain't
thing.
the
You
same.
can't
Yep.
treat me the way you
Well,
treat them.
in the medical people in the medical professionals' defense, um, they only give you what they know to help you with the disease. So of course, they're not. If you have a really good doctor, they'll ask you about pain medication, like, does it work for you? Because a lot of people that have lupus, it really doesn't work for them. The only thing it does for them is allow them to get a good night's rest, but it really doesn't take the pain away.
Right.
So if you have a really good doctor who really cares about his patients, he's going to ask you. But if you have a doctor that feel like he don't have time to talk about it, discuss it and all that, he's going to give you what he think is going to work for you and what he feel like is going to subside your pain. And they feel like they don't have the time, especially if you're rolling through the emergency room. I've worked
Right, but
emergency
that's the
medicine.
thing with
They
being
don't
in
have
the
the time.
emergency room, though.
They
They
don't
just
have the time.
it's automatically to where once they see it, they'll automatically be like, okay, we're gonna come with the pain medicine. That's what I'm saying. People got to know themselves enough to be able to go into the spot and say, hey, I do not need this, or I don't want this, or let's see if there's something else we can do instead of just being this is what we do to treat everybody with lupus. There's a lot of
Right.
times where something will be going on with me, and I know that it is not a result of just the lupus. Like this particular thing, whatever it is that's going on, this is actually something new that needs to be looked at, not from the aspect of because I have lupus, this is why this is happening. So, in that capacity, it's like you have because we was talking about mental health. So when people have a thing where today this is what's going on and they treat me for whatever it is that's going on, but 3 days later I can't get in to see my regular doctor, so I got to go back to the emergency room again. Y'all looking at me like I'm coming in here just to get pain medicine, like I'm a junkie because I got a whole completely different thing going on, and I'm telling you that there's something else happening and you don't want to do the work, like that contributes to a mental stress. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people don't realize that you can speak up and say, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do stuff. Listen, my all the people work in the hospital. I'm here and for it. I love every single one of my caregivers, but we don't have no issues because I'm gonna tell you what's going on with me, and that'll make it easier for us to move from where we are to the next position. But folks don't realize that a lot of times, like waking up in pain is its own level of stress. Waking up knowing that you got stuff that you have to do, for any person that has to go to work, that shit is stressful as fuck. That's stressful knowing that if I don't feel good today and I don't make it to work, I might not have a place to live later. I don't have that issue. So I can lay in the bed all day if I choose to. But I know that not everybody else has that option. And so just regular everyday living is stressful as hell.
Yeah.
And it's extra when you got something that you really can't do anything about. And people need to know, like, hey, it's not just you. And you gotta have I have a supreme support system. I have amazing people that'll come through and hey, do you need anything? And bring it. But not everybody has that. And not everybody is asking for it either, though. You know, like being conditioned into believing that you can't ask for help is a mental condition that needs to be talked about and treated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all, you know what I'm saying? It's all like everyday living, man. Yo, just having to get up and do the idea that you have to do anything is a mental problem.
That's
Yeah.
good shit right there.
I'm
Yes.
telling you if people don't acknowledge fully what constitutes a mental problem, they're not going to fully be able to treat it because people go to therapy, but you only going to share the parts that you want to share because you don't believe that the rest of it is a problem. All that shit
Right.
is a problem. I
Right.
don't have to talk to you. I don't have to go do this. I don't have to do. My life don't consist of me having to do a damn thing. That releases 20 levels of stress right there.
Say that. Say that.
Just saying. I'm just
Yeah, and that's another thing with people who does counseling and therapy. You have to be honest. You
saying.
can't tell them just what you want them to know. You have to totally just be honest with the therapist and with yourself. If you really want help, you won't hold back. But then, as a therapist, you shouldn't be talking to them about what their problem is. You shouldn't be asking that question. As a therapist, that's not a question that's asked, what's your problem? So it should never even be a part where you feel like they asking you, what's your problems that you're dealing with? That should never be a question. That should never be a question. It should be addressed differently. Why did you feel like you need to talk to a therapist? That's the question. It shouldn't be, okay, so what are some of the problems you're dealing with? No. The main question should be, why did you feel like you need to talk to a therapist? Or like they asked me, what made you want to get therapy? So it's ways to ask the same question. Excuse me, y'all, but it's just in different ways. So, they should never feel like, oh, they asked me what my problem is, so I'm just going to tell them what I'm having stress with. No, because they're actually supposed to be trying to get down to the root of what's happening without making you feel like you're really telling them what you're dealing with.
But there's tons of people that won't go to even seek the therapy because they feel like you know what I'm saying? Like they feel themselves that they don't have an issue that needs to be addressed or treated. So I'm not saying as far as a person going to a doctor and the doctor's approaching them a certain way. I'm saying that as a person, regular, everyday, getting up and going on about your business, if you don't think that you have a problem, you're never going to go seek the therapy. If you don't understand that certain things that have been conditioned into you believing that that is how life is, when you talking to somebody and they're complaining about situations with their man, and then they want to be like, oh, well, that's just how men do. No, that's absolutely untrue. That might be the ones that you continue to keep finding yourself with, but until you acknowledge that there's something about you that is attracting that particular thing, then you're going to continue believing and feeling that that's what it is. So if people have been conditioned to feel like, well, I'm sick, but I have to get up and go do this, or I don't feel good today, but I need my job, or I can't do this, that, and the other because all of those extra things contribute to people being stressed, to people having extra things piled up on top of them that's going to cause them to have mental issues that they may or may not even acknowledge that they have because they don't see it as being a mental issue. If all you've seen was everybody's struggle, then part of the struggle is yours.
I don't agree with that. I feel like, and we talked about this on, that's my opinion, but you're definitely right to your opinion. But we've talked about this on our show. I don't think there's people out. Well, there's a few people out there that feel like ain't nothing wrong, but the majority of the people don't seek counseling or don't seek therapy, because in the Black community, we have the stigma that if you see a counselor, you see a therapist, you're crazy. So some people know they have issues, but they feel like a therapist and a counselor is not one that can deal with my stress because I'm not crazy, but I'm stressing. But I've been told, you go to a therapist or a counselor, you're crazy. So I don't agree with the fact that a lot of people out there don't recognize they have an issue. Yes, they recognize they have an issue, but I agree with one thing you said. They're conditioned in their mind to think, oh, if I go to a counselor or therapist, I'm crazy. So who do I talk to about my stress? So that's why they don't, because here they're in the middle now. They don't know who to go to talk about stress and not talk about, like the therapist said, anxiety. It's a fear. It's a fear of whatever. So you have to find out what that fear is. Then you have to find out what your relationship is with that fear in order to conquer that fear. So again, when you have people that feel like, man, I'm stressed out, these kids driving me crazy, I got to do this, I got to do that. And like you said, I got to get up and go to work, but I can't because I'm not feeling well. And they have these things and they know these things are wrong, but in their mind, they've been conditioned in the Black community that, hey, oh girl, she going to see a therapist, she crazy. Yeah, she's doing constant child, she crazy. So then that's the last person that we seek out to talk to about stressful issues or even anxiety. Because if you don't know, or you're not in that arena, or you're not researching, or you're not talking to doctors that's actually being honest with you, you don't know that anxiety is a mental illness. You don't know that. You think it's just something that happens because you're stressed out. You know that depression is a real thing, but you don't know that depression is a mental illness. And it's the number one mental illness in the world that I just found out. I didn't know that. So I just feel like we have to make sure that the doors are open so people feel safe to go to a counselor or a therapist without thinking, oh, I got to be crazy if I want to talk to them. So I just from doing my mental health awareness retreat, there's a lot of women out there that are not crazy, but they need to talk to somebody, but they don't go to therapists and counselors because they're not crazy. So their thing is, who do I talk to? Where do I go? But they don't know that they can go to those same people, to those therapists, to those counselors. So I think a lot of people, they recognize their issue, but they're in the middle of, if I go to a therapist or counselor, then I'm crazy. So I don't need to go to them, but I'm stressed out. So who do I talk to? Where do I go? And then if the information is not put out there, or if they don't have people surrounding them to let them know, hey, you don't have to be psycho, you don't have to be crazy to go and sit and talk to a counselor or sit and talk to a therapist. You can just, it's in, like the therapist said last week, they're an outlet to your family or your friends that you really don't want to discuss those things with. They're the outlet. But a lot of people don't know that.
But that's the thing though. People need to get, there has to be somebody out there that is, if people are going to be talking about wanting to break stigmas or to, what's the new trendy shit they're saying, to break the generational curses and to do all of the different things, then it's necessary to, like I said earlier, for me going out and doing the health fairs and whatever, being able to talk to people and telling them, that I'm living with lupus. I'm giving them information to where I'm not just sharing something that I read in a pamphlet. I'm not
Right.
just giving you something that I saw based on another person and the stories that they've told me. I'm able to express what it is that's happening with me, what I've been through. And I've also been able to learn and understand that my situation and your situation are not going to be the same, even if they're similar. And the thing is that in what you was just saying, there has to be more people out here that are telling folks crazy is a blanket fucking term for a whole bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to call somebody crazy or to say this, that, and the third, like that's a mechanism that people have built up as a bullying defense mechanism to put on another person. Oh, you crazy, because they don't want to hear what you're talking about, or you crazy
Absolutely.
because they don't
Absolutely.
agree with what you just said, or you're crazy because, and we could go down a list of all of the random reasons that somebody will say that you're crazy, but nobody is doing what you just did and letting the people know that going and talking to somebody that can probably actually help you is going to be beneficial. But all I was saying is that there's a lot of things that people go through on a daily basis that if you ask them if they're depressed, they'll tell you no, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't realize that this particular thing is a sign of depression, that
It
this
is.
particular thing is, listen, fear lives in the past and anxiety lives in the future. If you're
Right.
not living right here, you are suffering from one of those things. That's a mental illness.
It is.
That's
Absolutely.
if the people are not acknowledging that in everything that they're doing, your feeling of the fight or flight is a response to a trauma. That's a basis for a mental issue. If you hold on to this, that, and the third, those are all basis for mental issue. And if the people are not, they're even if they get therapy and they're working through these particular things, if somebody asks them how they feel about this, that, and the third, they don't feel no way about it because they never really thought about it. You see what I'm saying? Like if you're not processing it in a way to be able to understand that you have to get better with you to be able to acknowledge that there's even something wrong with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm crazy
Absolutely.
as shit.
And
Let's
that's
take that.
exactly what the therapist said last week. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. But again, it's knowledge. Because if you don't know, if I'm brought up around all of y'all and we've been taught the same thing. So as an adult, if I feel like I got some issues and I come to you and I be like, girl, Adrian, I'm the girl, this is da da da. But you don't know to tell me, hey, maybe you want to talk to a counselor or therapist, because what we've been taught is you got to be crazy or you got to have something serious going on. So that's what I was saying. So when
Right.
you've been conditioned and you're not around people that are educated or people that have, like you said, tried to break that generational curse, or just trying something different from what they know, then I'm not going to tell you, or you're not going to tell me go see a counselor. You're gonna be like, girl, well, I don't know what to tell you to do, child. Just either pray about it, or girl, leave that nigga alone.
Or people yourself
Beat them
over
churn ass and send them to bed. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I'm gonna get from somebody who
right.
is been conditioned like I am. So that's what I was really trying to say. If you're constantly around people that have been conditioned like you, they're not going to tell you, girl, it's okay to go see a therapist. You just need somebody to talk to. It's okay. If they're not educated or they don't know, then that group that I'm in that's been brought up the same way I've been brought up, they're not going to help me. They're going to hinder me because they don't know the difference. So you have to, and then I'm not going to put it all on the people that's around us. It's yourself too. Because if you really want help, if you really feel, you're going to research, you're going to do stuff, you're going to be like, look, I got to figure a way to get out of this. I got to figure a way to get help. I got to figure a way to do this. So
But that's the
it.
unfortunate part. No, you have a lot of people who have, like you was just saying, grew up the way they grew up, had everybody around them that grew up the same way. And that's all I'm saying is that for the people that are in those particular situations, until they do exactly what you're saying, which is come across some people that are giving them the outlet to understand that there's other things that they could be doing,
Mhm.
they're going to continue to be trapped in a particular place to where they won't get the assistance that they need. Like, yo, for somebody living with lupus, if you already getting 13, 14 pills a day, you're not going to want to hear them tell you that you need to take 3 extra pills for anxiety, for depression, for bipolar, for
Mhm.
whatever it is that you may have come across. So there's tons of reasons why people don't want to go out and speak and say whatever it is that their issues are, because not just the not wanting to talk to somebody or not knowing that they can or being labeled as crazy. For me, I don't want to talk to nobody about shit that's going to have them hand me another pill. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Whatever the situation is now, listen. We straight. I'm gonna figure something else out, because when it becomes a part of your daily living, that I gotta figure out how to work this, that, and the third into my day 3 times a day. I'm outside chilling with the people, and then an alarm is going off because I can't even remember that I forgot why the alarm was going off because I had some medicine that I should have took 3 hours ago. You
Oh
know what I'm
wow.
saying? Like,
Damn.
just
Okay.
it's a mess, and it's all of that is life stress is a thing that contributes to people having extra mental issue that they don't even realize is an issue. You understand what I'm saying? It's
I
just regular
understand you.
life
Yeah.
stuff that's happening to people consistently, that because it's part of their regular everyday living, they don't even
Hmm.
understand that it's a actual problem.
And it is, and I definitely understand that because within talking to the therapist after she gave some signs of depression and things, I was like, damn, I was depressed and I didn't even know it. So yes, it you can, and I understand that because there were a couple of times when she brought up the signs, the symptoms, and things that happened. I was like, damn, I didn't even realize I was depressed because I was still getting up, I was still going to work, I was still doing this, I was still doing that. But in the interim, I was showing all the signs that she said. I'm always angry, I'm snapping at people, I'm doing, so I didn't even realize that I was going through a depression at the time that I was going through it until she broke it down for us. So I definitely get that because had somebody would have asked me back then, was I depressed? I would have been like, hey, you better get out my face. I ain't depressed.
You
You
would
said
have
I'm getting
called
up
them
going to work
crazy.
every day. I'm doing this
You
every
would have
day.
called them crazy.
Yeah, I would have called them crazy. I would have, but not in a bad way. You know how we speak. Yeah, but I would have said, girl, no, I ain't depressed. I mean, I'm going to work. I'm taking care of kids. I mean, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm doing events. I'm traveling. I'm doing all of this. So no, how can I be depressed? But when she broke it down, when she really broke it down, and I think my co-host too, they was like, damn, I don't know if they had been depressed, but they was also like, damn, because I was sure like that's depression. And I've been through it and I didn't even realize. So, again, I agree with what you said. Sometimes people can be going through those things and they don't even realize it, or they might realize it and don't want to recognize it maybe because they don't
I think
want
a
to
lot of
feel
people
like.
don't know that there's help out there that is not going to put a extra stigma on them. Like, I think more people are starting to open up to understanding that it's
Yeah.
okay to talk to a therapist, or it's
Hmm.
okay to now. I like the fact that you got a lot of people that are calling themselves life coaches.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
I don't agree with the concept. I'm just saying that if you're giving it a different title that is making the people feel a little bit more comfortable in going through and sucking, as long as they're getting it somewhere, it's a start. Maybe if you move into talking to those people, then you'll start to realize that talking to a therapist or a counselor, or in having to do like marriage counseling. You could go to marriage counseling and both of y'all could lie to everybody up in there about what you're going to do,
Yep.
what's going to happen, this, that,
Yep.
and the third. But you went
Absolutely.
and you got it out, and you put the words out, and it's like, and that's the thing, you only gonna get out of it what you put into it, so it
Yep.
doesn't even matter if people find a whole new crew of homegirls. They'll start talking to somebody else and then realize the only reason y'all are cool is because you exist on a trauma bond. If
Yeah.
one of y'all get better, the other one is leaving.
Yep. Yeah.
My friends are solid. because we already passed all that.
But another thing that she did mention when she was talking about the depression and the anxiety for women, because we've been taught you got to be strong. You got to take care of the kids. So as women, we were taught we have to be the strong person in the relationship, the strong person in the house. We got to take care of the kids. We got to make sure dinner's not, like we were taught, women were taught to be strong. Men were taught to not show their emotional side, not to be soft and all of those things. V, can you bring me my charger? Um, men were taught those things and we were taught to be strong. So she also said that's some of the reasons too why women don't acknowledge that there's an issue, because they were taught you got to be a strong woman. So a lot of times we try to feel like we can handle things on our own, but we actually need that help. But
Right.
that stigma again in the Black community,
Right.
with women, and not even in the Black community, and the Caucasian community, Asian community, women are supposed to be strong. We're
And
not
just
supposed to be weak.
just piggybacking off what you're saying, Ken, I'm sorry, ladies. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
My phone
Mm.
kicked me out. The phone ringing and just kicked me out. But that is true. That is what we are brought up to be strong. I started seeing a therapist about 2 years ago. Didn't even think that I needed a therapist, but my doctor felt because of all the medications that I was on. Every time I went to the doctor, they found something different to add to my medical history. And it was just like, okay, all right, just went on about my day. So it was the doctor that suggested I talk to somebody because they felt like I would just laugh everything off or just smile everything and just go about my day like everything was all good, knowing deep down inside that it wasn't. Um, but I found that talking to my therapist or talking to a therapist, I did feel like they started to kind of get through the thickness of it. I started to feel like maybe I am a little depressed and just don't know how to handle the depression of it, or how to handle the medication, or how to handle speaking to my family and loved ones about what I'm going through, because I was just so used to being the mom, the wife, the big sister, the hard person in the family, that I just kind of put all that stuff on the back burner instead of letting it go and being able to talk to somebody. So that it is important for you to be able to talk to somebody, whether it's a therapist, a life coach, just to kind of get it off of your plate, because it is a lot and it can be overbearing at times.
Hmm.
Yeah, but we're gonna go back to you when you before you cut out, like I was asking you, like being your cousin and being so close to you, when did you start getting your signs and symptoms of lupus? Like what made my auntie Phyllis say, I need to take my daughter to the doctor? Or what made you say, because you say you were 30 something, so what made you say I need to get checked for something different because something ain't right?
So I was 33. Always been stubborn about everything. Had a cold, I'm gonna make me some olive oil and honey. Had this, I'm gonna smoke weed and I'm gonna be
You
fine.
having rehearsal?
Yes. Turn
Oh,
it down.
okay.
Go back in there. I'm gonna get them to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
just enough.
so it was just always me coming up with my own remedy or my own explanation as to why something was hurting or why something was going on with my body. So after Katrina, my husband was actually still here waiting in the water. So when he came, maybe about 2 or 3 days after he came and met up with us in Houston after he was rescued, I became really, really, really sick. I had blisters and ulcers everywhere. When I tell you everywhere, everywhere. So I went to the hospital emergency room in Houston. Fever was probably at 110. They couldn't get the fever to break. Ice bags. They had to literally carry me out in an ambulance to the hospital. They did every test they thought they could, bone marrow, everything, everything. They could not figure out what was wrong with me. Fast forward, came back.
to New Orleans about a week after, a year after, got pregnant with my youngest son. After him, things were fine. Um, then I started getting ill at work. I worked at the casino. The secondhand smoke was killing me, killing me. Did not know what it was. I was passing out at work, blacking out, just
I
all kinds.
remember that. I remember all
So
that.
then maybe I think Jordan was probably about 9, 10 months. I had a miscarriage. I didn't even know I was pregnant. So from the miscarriage, I was bled out, clotted out, everything. My fingers started turning blue. My eye was blue. They couldn't warm me up. It's just a lot of signs that were triggering to lupus. So the first thing they found out I had was something called Raynaud's disease. And
Hmm.
Raynaud's is, it's just like the circuit is poor circulation. So my fingertips and my toes will stay blue. So they were like, Raynaud's is caused by something. You don't just have Raynaud's
Reynard, yes.
just by itself. So when they did the test for the lupus, that's when they found out I had lupus. Very uneducated. Had no idea what it was. Could have died at that moment when they called and told me I had lupus because I just didn't know what it was. They were like the medications they gonna put you on. Some people go to chemo and I'm like, oh Lord, I got cancer. Just didn't know what it
Yeah.
was. But after going along with the process and learning what it was, and I found that I had a classmate that had it. She talked to me a lot, and I just find myself looking at other people's conditions that have lupus, and some of them are really, really, really sick. Like my classmate could not have babies at all. It's like her body fought off every pregnancy. Your body really fights off a lot of stuff, whereas I feel like, Lord, I'm blessed. I have 4 healthy kids, so I just look at it as trying to educate others, and just trying to be as strong for others as Nikki was for me, because she helped me a lot along the way, so it's not an easy disease by any means necessary, but, I live with it. I push through, and like I say, I won't let it defeat me. But I want to do some things further in the future. I am looking into next year, having a lupus walk in New Orleans. We have never had one. There has been one in Metairie or Kenner, I think,
Yeah.
because what is the guy's name? I know he's a football player, he's an NFL player. I can't think of his name, but his aunt has lupus, and he did one year, in her memory. So, Kay knows we do anything lupus related. We do
Yeah. Yes.
lupus dance competitions. If anybody has any, that'll be the first one I sign up for. I rock my purple. The whole month of May, nails purple, everything purple. I post for the month of May about lupus, just to kind of get everybody educated. My pastor has me stand up in church and just tell everybody about lupus, make sure everybody gets tested. Um, but like I said, they do say it's hereditary. We just, I don't want to push anybody over the ledge and make them get tested, even though I think everybody should get tested, but I just think that we as a Black community need to get the test that, we need to get. We got to take care of ourselves, because had I not found out, anything could have happened to me and nobody would have ever known. They could have been congestive heart failure, kidney failure, and not knowing why. And this, that would be the reason why.
Wow.
And then it would be a false narrative, because let's just say I would have had, heart failure. Then my kids would have been out here thinking, oh, we got to get tested for our heart because mom died from, but that's not the case.
Right.
So just getting the proper test so that you can let your family know of the history of your background of what you actually have, so that they can properly be treated, if that time should come.
Yeah. I say push him over the ledge. Push him. Take him. And I'm being funny about it, but the reason
No,
I say,
I do get it, because guess what? I have an aunt, and
yeah.
she refuses to get tested. And I promise
Oh,
you, Auntie
Uh-oh.
Kathy,
cat. Oh, Lord. Okay.
every symptom that I have, she has. The medications that I take, hers are not as elevated to a level that I am, But for the most part, the medications that I take, she takes.
How
Mm.
old is Kathy, Tamika?
Kathy has got to be almost 70.
Wow.
But it's not just for her. It's for her kids. It's for her
No.
grandkids. It's, you know, she's got to know. She's got to find out.
Yep.
But
No, I
Wow.
the
have.
older they are, the more bullheaded they are. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
And
hard.
I come from a very large family. My cousin Tamika, her dad is my mom's brother.
Mhm.
And like I've said to you guys before, we come from a big family. There's 14 of them, or 13 of, I don't even know how many, 13 or 14 of them. And, I didn't find out a lot of things that were going on with my mom until she died. My
Mhm.
mom was one of those that didn't tell you anything, but when she died, everything was in the book.
Mm.
And
Okay.
when she got closer to, I wouldn't say the end because we didn't know, but when she got diagnosed with lung cancer and, uh, um, oh God, what is it? What's the disease that Bernie Mac had? I forgot. Sarcoidosis. When
Sarcoidosis.
she got diagnosed with those things, and then she started talking to us. So we didn't know all the things. Like, there's so much I found out my mom had after she died. But
Mhm.
there were things that I knew about while she was living, like her blood pressure, her asthma, her ulcers, stomach ulcers. And I knew like little simple stuff like that. But when it came to major stuff, my mom didn't tell us. So I had to find out a lot about her after she died.
Right.
So that's why I harp on the importance of telling your kids your family history. You gotta let these kids know what's going on.
We do.
I can't even, I can't be more clear than that. You have to talk to your kids.
You
And the
do.
bottom line is today is not too soon because we all feel like, oh, we got time. I'll tell them when I get a little older. As we can see, we lost a good friend to colon cancer at 46 years old.
Yeah.
And we lost another friend to whatever.
Right.
But the thing is, we don't have time. Tomorrow, if the rest of, I can get off there with y'all tonight and die in my sleep, and y'all won't see me no more.
Right.
So the rest of the day is not promised. So we have to get out of that. Oh, I'm gonna wait. I'll tell them, I'll wait, child. They don't need to know that right now. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Especially if you got kids over the age of 18 who are going to the doctors by themselves.
Mhm.
Excuse me. They
So they
don't
can know
need
what to
mommy
say.
anymore.
Yep.
So they need to know when they go to these doctors. They just really need to know. It is, yeah.
Because
So,
my grandmother, my mom's mom, we found out after two of her sisters passed that at least one of them had lupus. Nobody knew, but because again, like you were talking about, where there's no communication about medical stuff that's going on. My grandmother had a daughter that was born with lupus.
oh, wow.
Nobody knew what was going on with her. She had all of these symptoms where she was tired all the time and this and that. They used to call her lazy and this and that.
Hmm.
And luckily, but my grandmother had a total of 10 kids eventually. But at that point, she was number 6. So luckily she had 5 other siblings that were older, and one of the sisters was like, I'll take care of you over here, because they had no idea what to do. She's in her nanny, I think she's like close to 80 now. So at that point in time, they didn't know nothing about lupus. They didn't know nothing about nothing. So when she finally got properly diagnosed, like we were talking about with the doctors, if they know you, they won't just automatically throw you on pain pills and stuff, right? So her doctor was like, I'm not going to do that to you. I want you to, because she was already in the medical field. He said, I want you to go and research some natural ways to combat this. And that's what I want you to do that. And that's what she ended up doing. And when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid, immediately she said, just do this. Eat this, take this, do this. And I luckily hadn't had to take any, hard prescriptions or anything to deal with. But as soon as I found out about everything, I put it on we had a family page on Facebook. I put it on our family page and I tell all my cousins, y'all, this is in our family history. When you go to the doctor, tell them people about this. I'm dealing with hypothyroidism. Tell the people about hypothyroidism. Because my mom had the hypothyroidism. I didn't know until she almost died in ICU on a tray. Then I knew afterwards, because then I started getting symptoms and stuff. But definitely, Tamika, like I was laughing about it, but push them over the edge. Make them go and make them get tested and make them get the full panel, because you just never know what will pop up where.
Maybe that's something, Tamika, that you could um put together in New Orleans. And Adrian, maybe that's something we can get with you to put together here in Georgia. Just put together a lupus testing day. Like, you can do it at the end of a walk, of
Yo,
your
we
walk. Like,
have
you can
we have
prepare to do
tried.
that.
The problem with that though is that the issue that we're having, they have two lupus clinics here in Georgia, but for the programs that they were able to get started, they still haven't been able to open it up. It started in just Fulton County residents. They just added DeKalb County residents. Being able to find doctors that can actually do the testing and be able to send it out. Like, I think because people diagnosed with HIV can give it to other people, that's why they make it to where they'll do the testing and actually pay for it and whatever. But lupus doesn't fall under that category. So they won't, like, trust me, we've been trying to get that done on behalf of people, because we do health fairs at like Clark, at the college campuses and the different places here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
There's a sorority of nurses. I want to say it's Chi Epsilon. I can't remember their
Uh-huh.
actual, but it's a sorority of
That's
nurses.
it.
And
Uh-huh.
we working with them also trying to get it together, but because of insurance issues and whatever, they're not able to do that yet. But trust me, we still working on getting that together to be able to do it. Because my youngest son in 2019, he had some real weird stuff going on, and every time I took them to the doctors, they would run a million tests and, oh, we don't see anything. There's nothing. But that's the bad part about living with lupus. Like, you could visibly see that there's something wrong. But when the doctors run their test and the tests don't show anything, then they don't know what to do. So he had visible
Or
symptoms of
associate
something.
every illness to lupus.
Right. And so every single thing that they did, they couldn't find anything. So they were just, I said, listen, you got to run and check for an autoimmune disorder. And they didn't want to do it at first, but then they did it. And sure enough, he has an autoimmune disorder. He's been having different things going on for them to be able to pinpoint which one it actually is. Like, we literally, the Atlanta walk was April 27th. And as soon as I got home from the walk, I was probably home for like 20 minutes and ended up having to rush my son to the hospital. And we stayed in the hospital for like 4 days
Oh,
because
wow.
he had an allergic reaction to something that he ate.
So what are they saying? What are they saying about the insurance? Because most insurances will cover any blood test if they code it right as a family history.
And that's the thing. If the people go to their own doctors and request to have it done, they'll do it. But to be able to set up a place where they can go in public and just go, like, to have a van or something set up to where they can do the testing, they won't. Something with the insurance and them being able to properly bill it, make sure it gets to the right labs to do it. It's just a whole bunch of red tape and
That's
mess going
crazy.
on.
That's
But
crazy.
we are definitely, trying to get that done because it's necessary. There's so many people that are out here that are being newly diagnosed with lupus, and the problem with that is that lupus covers so much
Yeah.
stuff that a
Yeah.
lot of times people are being diagnosed with lupus and then later on down the road finding out that that's actually not what they had. Like, they'll have something like sojourns. They'll have the what Sjogren's, fucking the scleroderma, sarcoidosis. It'll be
Uh-huh.
something different, but it's just the test gets done. It shows that you have an autoimmune disorder. It's easy to say is lupus because lupus covers so much stuff, but then later on down the road, when they're starting to show signs and symptoms of this, that, and the third, like if you go down the list, I have Raynaud's syndrome. My hands, I can't go grocery shopping in the cold section of the refrigerator because I'm turning purple trying to reach something out of the frozen food section. You know, it's ridiculous. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have heart problems, kidney problems, lung problems. This and you go down the list and name it, but it could have presented itself as any one of those things first. It's just that whatever happened with me happened so drastic. But again, I had probably been living with lupus for 20 years before they diagnosed it. If they would have caught it earlier, I might have bypassed a whole bunch of
A whole bunch of other things.
complications.
Yes,
So
you
it's
would
like,
have.
yeah, and tons of people, and you being 33 being diagnosed, that's late. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It's like that's really late for people. So there should absolutely be a way that people can just go to a place and get tested and whatever, but they're really not trying to do that. Not right now, but like I said, we're still working on it and talking to the people. We go to the Capitol for advocacy. We have a couple of the representatives for, especially the area that I live in, are actually living with lupus also. So it's it's something that's high on the list of being able to get it done. So we're working
I
on it, but it's just not. It
I'm
hasn't
going
been.
to reach out to Quest Diagnostics. I know some people high up in Quest Diagnostics. I worked for them for 10 years. Well, no,
Mhm.
not 10. Like 7.5, 8 years. I worked for them. So I'll reach out to them and see because Quest is they love doing free stuff and they love doing free testing. And Quest is a $1 trillion company. So I will reach out to somebody that I know at Quest and see how we can try to fit that in to trying to get some free testing done. And I could do that for here in New Orleans. But I will reach out and see like who can I talk to get free lupus testing done and they'll probably work better doing it next year to do it in May for the month of lupus awareness. But I'm gonna get your information, Adrian, and I'm gonna reach out to them and I'm gonna see what I can find, what kind of information I can find. If they can guide me to somebody that could help with some free lupus testing or or something so we can try to bring more awareness and get more people tested for this lupus
Absolutely.
thing. So I will it won't be till next week because I got a lot going on this weekend. But I will definitely reach out to somebody at Quest Diagnostics and see what they can do, or they can guide me to somebody or somewhere where we
Yeah, the
can.
more connections we can get with, the better. Because, like I said, there's a clinic at Grady. They started at Emory, but they opened up the clinic at Grady. But again, it began where it was only available to Fulton County residents, and now it's including DeKalb. And we're still, they're still working on extending it out to be able to reach more of the counties for people without insurance or with low income families or whatever to be able to come and get assistance. So it's like we're working on trying to do so much stuff to help actually help the people, to educate the people, to get a bunch of things done to, for people to not be so afraid of the lupus diagnosis.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. We need to figure out a way to find a way to help people get tested for one, because if they're not tested, they don't know. And then, like you said, it can present as so many other things because just like fibromyalgia, they say that that's not a real, that ain't real. People just They just be complaining. I've heard doctors tell patients that, that's not a real disease. That's what some people came up with. And, but how are you going to tell a person how they're feeling? If they're hurting, they're hurting. Now, if you can't find out why, that doesn't mean you dismiss that they're hurting. And I've actually worked in a primary care doctor's office where I heard a doctor tell this patient, that's not a real disease. Maybe we need to run some more tests. But you cannot tell people that they're not hurting.
They do.
Now, you can tell them, hey, you hurting, but I don't know why. Let me run some tests. But do not tell a patient, oh, that's not a real disease. That, no, no, you can't do that.
But that's
So,
an issue that a lot of people come across though, because again, like I said, and I speak from just my personal experience of living with lupus for the past 18 years of going in and seeing and doing where I've had doctors that didn't want to treat me for something because oh it can't be that. Um yeah, but you wouldn't know if you don't actually check for it. Or
right.
for oh well here we're gonna give you this, but that medication should be listed in my things that I cannot take that. Like it's just a bunch of different things where it's I think that lupus also falls into one of those categories of they're starting to acknowledge that it's a real thing, but with
Yeah.
the initial diagnosis of lupus, it was called the black woman's disease.
Yes.
So because of that, they didn't run tests for certain things. They wouldn't do a bunch of extra stuff, and it wasn't important to the community, the actual medical field, because it's just black women that's dying. So now that it's a bigger thing and they're seeing that it's affecting more people, they're diagnosing it in people younger and younger. They're reaching more demographics. It is going outside into where you're getting more men being diagnosed with lupus. You're getting more people that are not people of color who are being diagnosed with lupus. Like now it's affected to a point where people are realizing that it is actually something, but there's still so little about it in the medical field that if you don't have a doctor that has some type of actual connection to a person with lupus, it doesn't it's still not high on their list of priority to do anything that's going to
Yeah.
help.
And I just think being a nurse and a medical professional, I feel like the different time limits that they have on certain diseases and certain things, just like I can go back to our friend we just lost who was 46 years old with colon cancer. Uh, the insurance is saying that you shouldn't be screened for colon cancer until you're 50. But what if I've been having issues? Like, why does it
Right,
have to be an age limit? The times are different, the food is different, the air we breathe is different, the
Right.
sun that shines is different. So why does an age limit need to be put on certain things? Had this young lady been tested for colon testing or screenings prior to, she's been dealing with this for some years now, so I want to say prior to 30, she probably would still be here with us today.
right.
Right.
But because they say you don't get tested until you're 50,
Yeah, my youngest sister was diagnosed with breast cancer on right 3 days before her 23rd birthday. They would have
see,
never tested her for breast cancer that young.
right, right, because they don't want you to start getting mammograms. I forgot the age, to like
40.
35, 40. Yeah, 40 years old. So
Mhm.
like what what I'm supposed to do? And see, here we go back with the hereditary thing. So I feel like if when you go to a doctor and they ask your family history, if you said my auntie had breast cancer and my grandma had breast cancer, you shouldn't wait until they shouldn't wait until I'm 40 to check me for breast cancer.
Right.
Right.
Because I
Right.
have a family history, I should
It should
be
be done
getting
immediately.
mammograms now. But I would
Right.
say I don't need to get a mammogram every year but maybe every other year now test me, because I worked with a doctor at Kaiser Permanente when I first moved here. She had a mammogram on Monday, y'all. They didn't see nothing. She had no nodules. She had nothing. She went to her and her husband went to dinner. She came back to take a bath, a shower. And because she's a doctor, she was testing herself and she felt something in her breast. 5, 6 days later, well, she went that Monday. They went to dinner that Saturday. She tested herself. She did her breast. She went back that Monday to get another mammogram. 1 week later, she had breast cancer.
Mm.
So the previous Monday, they found nothing. She went for a physical. She did a mammogram. They didn't see nothing. A week later, she had to go get retested and she had breast cancer.
Mm.
So where was it? Why was it
Right.
hiding? Where was it hiding?
Right.
I don't know. She showed us her mammogram. There was nothing there. And then she showed us the mammogram that happened just 1 week later. 1 week.
Mm.
So anything could happen from one day. I don't even say a whole week. Anything can happen from one day to the next day.
Right.
Because in 1 week, breast cancer formed in this lady's breast after she had a full and a 3D mammogram. Like,
Mm.
where did it come from in 1 week? So we have to
Right.
stop. They have to stop. I don't know what, I mean, ain't much I can do about it by myself. But what we have to stop putting an age limit on testing, especially if a patient has a family history. We have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing that. But of course, you can, and this is another thing about people and patients being a patient. You have a right. You have a right. You have to know how to be an advocate for yourself. You have to be able to speak up. If you feeling funny, and just like I told y'all, I've been in so much pain. I've been in so much pain. I know when I go to the doctor in a couple of weeks, I need you to test me for lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. I need to be tested because my sister has rheumatoid arthritis. My mom had it. I want to be tested for these things. They cannot tell you no. If you have insurance and it's a family
Right.
history, there is a code where they can code it where any insurance will pay for it. If you're having certain symptoms and you go into your doctor's office and say, listen, my sister had this symptom, my mom had this symptom, she had rheumatoid arthritis and she's got lupus. Can you please test me for these things? Because I'm having the same symptoms they had. There's a
As you
code, there's
should.
a family history code. Oh my God. I used to know my codes real good until they changed them from ICD 9 to 10. I don't really know them that well, but an ICD 9 code, I can coach you from the rooter to the tutor. But when they changed them to 10, I haven't memorized them that much because I've been working more on the clinical side in hospitals instead of doctors' offices. So there's codes, there's family history codes, there's family history genetic code that they can use that any insurance will pay for any testing that could be caused genetically. But again, if we don't know, we can't ask. But
Right.
I'm letting y'all know you have the right to ask for any testing that you want. You have that right. But you have to make sure now that there's some type of family history for whatever testing you're asking. There's some type of genetic history for whatever testing you're asking. You can't just go in there because you feel sick and you be like, I want a cancer test, and ain't nobody in your damn family that had cancer. They'll do it, but you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
So you just got to make sure you got your information correct, and you have to be an advocate for yourself. Period. But you can have these tests. You can have it done. You definitely can have it done. So you know, I tip my hat to y'all because Andrea, you sound like you just busy as my cousin. And I don't know how y'all do it. Like you sitting there sewing now. Like I don't know how you doing it with your hands and your back and your pain. And I don't know how y'all do that. But I tip
Gotta
my hat
keep
to you
busy.
guys.
Gotta keep busy.
I tip my
Got
hat to
to.
you guys. Child, my neck be hurting and I don't want to get out the bed at all. And that's just my neck. So, it's just those days where that pain is bad, but I get up and I do what I gotta do. I move a lot. Everybody always tell me slow down, you gotta stop, you gotta do this, but I can't. I gotta keep going. I know, but I be having to do stuff. I gotta move. I gotta move. I gotta do something.
I
I
And
had
believe
then
that
Especially since I'm
saying.
not on
completed
a nursing
together.
assignment right now, I'm about to go crazy in this house. So I
I
gotta do
believe that
something.
saying. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it.
that's
Yeah,
true.
That part.
yeah.
But you
So
know, Kwana be doing too much, and then next week, oh y'all, I can't move. I'm in the bed.
I already know.
But listen, I just pay for it later. And that's that part that I grew up with too. Do it yourself. Don't ask nobody to do nothing for you. You Tamika know that's our parents do it yourself. Don't ask nobody to do nothing.
Okay,
So I
then we
don't
talk
ask
about
nobody. I
this.
do it myself. I
Then we
got to get
talk.
up and
Then we
do
talk
I'm
about this.
asking.
Then we talk about this in the mental health segment. Then we talk about this.
I'm asking.
it. Listen, Linda, I'm working on it. I'm
Can
working
we
on it.
not just talk about
Process.
this?
It is
I'm
a
working on it.
process.
I'm working
Look,
on
I know my kids on here like this lady not even supposed to be outside today.
it.
I just had an injection in my shoulder today, but I'm like, as long as I ain't lifting nothing and doing nothing strenuous, I'm gonna be okay.
Y'all related.
It, it runs in the family. It does. It does. Let me tell you something. And this year I couldn't go because V had her back surgery February 8th. But guess what? If she didn't, I'd have been right out there walking in that parade with her and with them girls. And after it was over, we were gonna
We
be
gonna be in the
holding each
bed for
other
2
up,
days.
trying holding each other up, trying to get to the bed. But man,
I gotta
listen.
get every ounce of this work done before June because I'm going to be on. It's my birthday from June 21st to July 23rd,
Damn.
Hmm.
Okay.
and we got all of the plans. I'm like, I already told people June does not exist. My calendar every year, I work until May 31st, and then I start again August 1st. Y'all got to get in there somewhere because June and July, I'm in the streets.
It's
Y'all
done.
better come find me.
Listen. And and it's something that we learned also when I did my mental health retreat last year, is that we have to prioritize things and we have to do some self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm continuing to do my mental health retreat.
Uh-huh.
Because it take more than one because we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to do.
Yeah.
But we still have to take that time to do self-care. And we have to prioritize stuff like what was it, Lisa? Is it necessary? Is it important? Is it something? It was a whole bunch of activities that she gave us to do.
Yeah.
Um, to really weed out if somebody asks us to do something, is it something that we want to do? Is it necessary?
Right.
Is it important or is
Mm-hmm.
it something? And we had to put those things into categories because a lot of times we do stuff that we really don't have to do.
It's not
Right,
necessary.
It ain't
right.
necessary,
I
but we
tried
do
to
it
tell
and
you
we really
earlier,
don't
you
have
don't
to.
have to do anything.
Right, right. But when you have friends, you have family, you say you're gonna do something, you want to do it, you want to show up, you want to be there. But she made us do that to also recognize like we there for everybody and we stretching ourselves. Who's
And
there
we're
for
not
us?
there for us. Yep.
Right.
And we're not there for our own selves. They're not there for us, and we're not there for our own selves because we too busy being there for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it like we got all these little exercises we're gonna do on my mental health retreat in Miami. We're gonna have a good time, but we're also gonna work on our mental and our self-care. And that's just something I really hope that these mental health retreats get bigger and bigger and bigger. And because they're in the month of May, yes, that's my flyer for my mental health retreat. Y'all come it look, y'all don't want to miss this retreat. This retreat is gonna be awesome. I know next year, it's in August this year, but next year it'll be in May. And we are going to Jamaica in May of next year for the second retreat. But this retreat is only $550 and it's from August 8th through August 11th. Everything is included in that 550. I have already secured a sound bath and yoga meditation on the beach. So like it's everything. It's gonna be everything. So and of course if you can't make this one, just look out for information for next year. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I have been locked out of my Facebook. My Facebook has been hacked. I have had a crazy day. So you can find the flyer on the Ladies Den page, which is connected to my Facebook. So I'm not sure how we still have that page. But anyway, so my page got hacked. You would just have to call the information on the flyer. If you would like to participate in the retreat, it will be posted on the Ladies Den page. Monday is the last day to pay your $100 deposit to secure your spot. I think at this point, I think I only have 5 spots left. Um,
Four. Is my spot in there?
oh, no, your spot is already in there. So I
Okay.
have 5 spots left. You're
Mm.
already in that other number. So as of right now, it's still very small. I think I have 7 right now. Let's see. Seven, right, 10, here, and there. Yes, so I have 8 right now. So I only have 5 more spots left. And all you have to do is pay your $100 deposit to secure your spot. And then your balance just needs to be paid by July, I think July 20th, something like that. But once you do your deposit, then you'll get all the other information that's needed. So yeah, y'all don't want to miss this retreat. The first one was amazing. We had an awesome time. I hate that my sis Nisa is in Cali right now. She's gonna miss this one. So hopefully she will be at the next one next year. My girl Kiki, hopefully she'll be there. Hopefully she's able to get off from work. I know she just started a new job, so it might be kind of hard for her. But yeah, y'all don't want to miss this retreat. So y'all have any questions? My information and my email, because this is under my nonprofit, BK Resource Inc. We are a resource nonprofit, and to Adrian, I wanted to say too, we're looking for a building right now because I'm gonna have a medical clinic in the building in our nonprofit resource building. So we can definitely look into adding that once we get the building, but I'm still gonna contact Quest to see what we can do right now.
Yeah,
And
just keep.
also July 27th, is it 27th? The health fair, can you put the health fair flyer up? So Adrian, also, if you would like to come and get a table, have a table at my health fair to just give, put out some lupus information, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
I don't see that one.
You don't have, see, I can't get on my Facebook, so you don't have it? Didn't we post it last week?
Mm-mm. No.
Oh, Lord, I can't get on my Facebook, y'all. They done locked me out. I had to go and do I had to close all my bank accounts, reopen them. It's just been a mess. Today has just been utmost disaster. But
Which is
thank
why
God I'm
you deserve
alive.
that
Right?
moonshine.
Girl, huh?
I said, which is why you deserve that moonshine.
Which is why I deserve this moonshine. I sent it to your text, Nisa. See if you can put it on real quick. But I'm doing a health fair in Powder Springs. I live in Powder Springs. So I am hosting a back to school health fair, back to school drive health fair. So we are asking that everyone who comes to the health fair donate a backpack, an empty backpack, or a backpack filled with some school supplies. Just you ain't got to fill it up, but a few school supplies. And then we'll be giving them out to the students on a different day. But it, yeah. We're going to be doing free screenings, blood pressure check. We're going to have the blood mobile out there. We're going to have the HIV testing center out there. So they're going to be either doing testing or giving free testing. We're going to be doing free COVID testing again because, as y'all know, COVID is not gone. It is still out there. We need people to really be aware and make sure that you're still protecting yourself when you're in large surroundings because there is a new variant out there. And this variant is attacking the lungs, and you get no signs and symptoms, and it's taking you straight on up out of here. So we just need to be mindful and be aware of our surroundings when we're in large enclosed areas. So whenever she gets that up, that you guys will see it, but it'll be in Powder Springs, July 27th. So you guys, if you don't mind, please share this flyer on your social medias. Especially now, I can't do nothing right now. So if you wouldn't mind, please share them on your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, whatever platform that you have, so that we can really get some backpacks and some school supplies for these kids, who parents can't afford to buy all this stuff for school. But before we get out of here, ladies, I just want to ask both of you guys to, just tell us some things that family and friends can look for in a person with lupus to try to, say, hey, you need to go get testing, and some good ways to support someone that is struggling with this disease. Anybody can go first, it don't matter.
So I would say the biggest thing you look for is fatigue, um, the slow healing process. Lupus also makes you get this, which is most common, this rash in your face. They call it the butterfly rash. That's kind of like a true tell sign of it. So, like Adrian said, anytime you're just not healing fast or your body is just not doing what you think it's supposed to be doing, it's a telltale sign. But the most important thing, you always slow to heal. Always slow to heal from whatever it is. It takes a long time for your body to heal. One of the things you can do to kind of avoid your flare-ups is easier said than done, but get that stress out of your life. See somebody to talk to, counseling, because that stress is a kill factor for you.
And what are some ways that you can support somebody? What are some ways that you think that you can support someone with lupus so they don't feel like they're alone, or nobody understands them because of this disease?
Well, when I first started, we had a little support group where we would meet up at the library. And it was just a bunch of women just supporting each other, letting everybody know, even though, hey, one of them couldn't have kids, one of them had kids that passed away, so it's just always just being there, being able to talk to somebody about the issues that you have. A lot of times people don't understand what you're going through. But somebody with lupus, if you can find somebody that has it, that is definitely your strong support system. Um, I'm not gonna say, some people are more dramatic than others. If you know, that's vaguely speaking, but not somebody that's always moping and moaning about the littlest things, but just somebody that's just as strong as you that can lift you up, in your time. So when it's time for you, you can be an inspiration and lift them up. I just, like I tell everybody, I don't want no presents. Don't bring no presents to no pity party. I don't want no presents. Keep your presents at home. So just somebody that's just as strong as you that can lift you up, when you feeling down.
Okay. What about you, Adrian?
So I think she pretty much touched on all of the signs of lupus, absolutely one extra thing to add into that is if you know that something is going on different in your body, and you go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong, tell them to check for autoimmune disorder, because a lot of times you'll have visible symptoms and it won't show up on the test of whatever they think that it might possibly be. So, that's the only thing that hadn't already been touched on. As far as the other parts though, like I know when I first was diagnosed with lupus and then having access to social media, which was probably a few years afterwards, the few online support groups that they had was just a bunch of people trying to out sick each other. Like,
Mm,
oh, you had this, well, I had such and so and so, or you did this and I had, like, it's not a competition that I'm trying to be in. So find the people that, like she said, are on your same level worth of, I'm trying to figure out how to live with what I got going on daily, but talk about it. Feel comfortable in understanding that this is part of my daily living. So if this is how my day is going today, I need you as a person not living with lupus to understand that I'm not lazy, that I'm
right.
not doing, that I'm not, like, whatever your thought process is on how I'm getting stuff done is more than likely not what's going on. If you had any idea of what I had to go through to get out of the bed, you would watch how you talk to me and talk to me nice, because you don't know. So for people that are like outside caregivers, I think when we had first started, I was saying that a lot of the people that talk about what they know about lupus is because they had a family member that passed away. And it's almost
Hmm.
like a guilt type of thing worth of, my people were telling me that they had this, that, and the third going on, but I wasn't really listening because I didn't really understand. And now that they gone, it kind of clicks in your head that, like, oh, they really had this, that, and the third. So for people that aren't living with lupus, just listen. And you can't listen for understanding in this situation, because if you don't have it, you won't understand. But just know that the people are going through something, and the more you put a negative spin on it, the less they're going to be able to come and talk to you. So if you want
Mhm.
to be a supportive person, a supportive friend, partner, whatever it is, listen and move from there. And just seeing how today is going. If I'm having a good day today, I'm having a good day. If I'm having a right now, I'm starting to sweat. It's like 100 degrees in here when I know that the temperature hasn't changed. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
sitting in the spot and doing whatever I'm doing for too long. So I know when I need to do something different. So just acknowledge that if I tell you that I can't do something, or even if I showed up for 15 minutes, then 15 minutes was the best I could give you.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Gave
and I
it. This
feel
was
you.
the best I could give, and that's the part, because it's extra stress on a person's mental when you, oh man, they don't never want to do, they don't, now I always want to do, but I can't.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Right.
it's
yeah.
just you won't be able to reach it from a point of understanding, but just honestly listen. That's the best thing a person can do for somebody living with lupus.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys, I don't know a lot about lupus. All I know is what I've talked to my cousin about. Again, I've said it a million times. Me and my sis Kiki, we OBGYN, our background. Kiki is now doing pediatrics, but my background is OBGYN. So I don't know a lot about certain diseases unless I'm working in a primary care, and I still don't know because I just know that the patient was diagnosed with this, but it's not on my radar to start doing some research. And
Yeah.
I can piggyback on what you said, Adrian. I really didn't start doing research on lupus until I found out my cousin had, because I didn't have a reason to look up
Right.
stuff or to try to figure out, like, what is she dealing with, like what is my cousin dealing with, what is going on with her. So I really didn't do research on it until I found out she had it. So it just made me more knowledgeable about the disease and understand her more when I'm like, girl, I'm ready to go out when I'm at home. And she like, "Kid, I can't do it. I
Yep.
can't." And I'd be like, girl, if you don't get out that bed, come on, I'm ready to go. I came all the way from Atlanta. I'm da, and I didn't understand that in the first beginning when I first moved here.
Mhm.
Right.
Because I was like, now this heifer know I done came all the way here and she don't want to go to. But now I understand when she said, "Kay, I'm hurting, babe. I can't do it. I'm about to go to bed."
Look, I'm gonna go.
Now
But if
I
I
can
fall asleep in the
sympathize and I
club, that's your
understand.
fault.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna go. But if I fall asleep in the club, that is your
That's
fault.
your fault.
Well, but for her, it wasn't even about falling asleep. It was the pain, like the walking and the standing up in the club, and we be twerking, so the Megan knees wasn't working. All that stuff was hurting. So it's like it took me
I
to
have a
do the
walker
research.
with rhinestones and sneakers. I'll be in the club cute with my walker like a whole. Listen, you gonna get all 50 of these years.
Yeah. Yeah. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. She ain't
I
lying at
change the
all.
sneakers on my walker to match my outfits. Y'all ain't gonna
And
play with
do.
me. I'ma go.
And
But
do.
I'm falling asleep.
And you know what? Well, I can definitely tell you about it from the patient side because I was diagnosed in my 20s and I went through the same thing because back then you in your 20s, we in the club all the time.
Yeah.
So to go from go, drink, drink, drink to now my body is triple its size because now I have water weight. My fingers don't work. I can't do nothing with them. I got to get up and take Vicodin, 2 Vicodins every morning before I get up because
Oh, girl, that's the old pain medicine. They
my
don't even use
skeleton,
that no more. You
my
telling your age.
well, hey, I'm 52 and proud of it. But listen, when your whole skeletal frame hurts and it ain't nothing you can do, and my
Right.
friends used to be like, "Girl, come on, we need to go to the club. We going to this." I'd be like, "Y'all, I can't do it. I can't move." And it's then I didn't have the support, but as we got older, people get more knowledge. You have the support now. So it's like that support group definitely helps a lot.
Hmm.
Because then if you tell somebody I can't do it, then they already know, okay, well, what you need? What you need me to bring you?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you saying you can't do it, I already know it's some things happening. What you need me to bring you to help you out. So that
Right.
So
support group
one
is definitely important.
one thing I don't know about lupus, and I need to ask a question or either do some research or call up one of my doctor friends, is 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 lupus I'm trying to see how to put it. Is lupus always there and you just don't know? Or is it a situation where you can accumulate it at a later age? Now, medically, I don't know because I don't know about lupus, but I know, like, for one of my girlfriends who mom was diabetic and she used to be tested all the time for diabetes. She never had it. But then she was diagnosed at the age of 30 something with diabetes. So I'm wondering if either one of you know, maybe you can answer it. Is it that you guys have always had lupus, but you
From
just
all
weren't
of the people that I
diagnosed?
have spoken to over the years that have been diagnosed with lupus, they fall into a similar category like me to where they got diagnosed either at a young age, but something was going on, or
Okay.
at an age where if you look back, you probably had it for a long time and they didn't find it until. But the one
Oh,
thing that I can say from talking to every single person, when they were diagnosed, something very, very stressful was taking place in their life. So
oh,
I can't say because I'm not a doctor, and I also know that the doctors don't fully
they
know
don't know either.
themselves. But for
Right.
me personally, from talking to a lot of people who have been diagnosed with lupus, I believe that it's almost like how they say that everybody has a form of staph in their body, but not
You
everybody
do.
gets staph infection.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that's how it is for people. Like they have it. Like say you had with my father had diabetes And technically, going down the list of people, I'm the only one in the family that has lupus. But if you look at other autoimmune disorders, different things, asthma, eczema, diabetes, such and such,
Hmm.
everybody in the family got one of those things. I've never
Yeah.
had any of those issues. Like I had where it turned into being something severe, um, but I ended up getting nodules on my lungs, but I never had asthma. I ended up having a
Hmm.
heart attack, but I never had any heart. You see what I'm saying? Like my stuff
Yeah.
went a
Yeah.
full
I think
extreme. So I believe that it's something that everybody that people have, and then something stressful triggers it to manifest itself to make it visible, so that they can start on
and
a
I think
regular.
now since it's becoming more prominent of people having it, that they're going to start, studying it more and looking back to see. But I don't think because of when we first were diagnosed, it wasn't really a real familiar disease. But I do look back on things as I was growing up, saying, oh, maybe this is why they couldn't figure this out. Maybe this is why, I kept ear infections growing up and they couldn't figure out why. Or maybe it's why, I used to keep constant chest pains. And, so it does, bring that question into your mind that maybe I've been having it. But like Adrian saying, it took something really stressful, in my life to actually bring it to light, for it to really hit hard and for that test to finally, be administered and for them to really understand now that she has lupus. So this is probably what caused this or what caused that or what,
Right,
caused the other things to go on in her life. But, it's probably going to take a while for the doctors to actually really figure out, is it something that you're born with? Because keep in mind, little kids don't really have too much of a stress factor. So if
Right.
stress that's triggering it off, then maybe we'll never know, if you're born with it or not, or will it become something
right,
that they just start testing you from at an earlier age because you have a history of it, So it's probably things that, it's probably going to take a while for them to actually figure all those things out or, dot all those I's, cross all those T's to see. But I do think that I've had it for longer than I've been diagnosed with it.
Wow. So, and then the last question, ladies, before I let y'all go, like Tamika, I know you're the only one with lupus. Adrian, you're the only one with lupus. But where is it coming from? Like somebody had to give you this, or it had to come from some line somewhere, or is it that okay, because y'all was stressed, y'all done been going through all this and now you have lupus? Like, is this a question that you are asking your doctors? Is this a question that you are asking your family members? I know, like you said, Tamika, Kathy don't want to get tested, but Kathy is your auntie. That's your mom's sister. But even if she has it, did it come from my mom? Did
So
it
I
come from your grandmother?
I
Like,
think it's because we have, so I had, I had the cousin on my grandmother's side,
mhm,
um, Carla,
yeah,
who had lupus, but she didn't pass away from lupus because she had sarcoidosis and ultimately passed from breast cancer.
right,
Then I just had a cousin on my grandfather's side, Michelle, who just passed away 2 months ago. She had lupus, but she had some other issues. So I don't know if it's traits, like maybe, how they say you have traits of sickle cell, or you have
mhm,
traits when
yeah.
because he has become autistic, or I don't know how far back it has to be. But from what I was told from my rheumatoid doctor, which is my lupus doctor, is they're saying it's someone closer knit in your family than just traits from down the line. So I don't know if it's
Have your
ongoing
mom been
research.
tested?
My mom,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she doesn't have it.
Mm-mm. So I don't know if it's
Girl, is your regular ass daddy got lupus?
child. Who knows?
Girl,
Or is
Oh
he
yeah,
the daddy?
y'all got to know her daddy to know
Or
why
is
I
he the
called his
daddy?
ass regular ass. Oh Jesus,
No, just
girl.
play.
Now, I wasn't gonna say anything about raggedy daddies, but when I was in the hospital and my father was reading some stuff, he says he looked at the doctor and he was like, "Oh my goodness, I had drug problems when she was a baby because I'm the second oldest of a gang of kids, so I got an older brother that obviously got a mental condition, me, and then a bunch of other crazies. So he's like, I had a drug problem when she was born. Do you think that maybe it's my fault?" And I said, "Listen, sir, everything is your fault. Let's just go ahead and accept that right now so we could just let that go. And from this moment forward, you owe me. So when I hit you up, I'm gonna need you to just come through and
Tamika, who she sound like you?
let's do it. We already here. If you want to take the blame, I'm gonna give it to you. We've
Right.
been going back and forth on this. No, 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 you got it. It's your fault. It is absolutely all you. Let's go ahead and take that. However it comes about, because everybody has their own different types of things. Like in reading certain information that they have concerning lupus, they'll say that if your parent had diabetes or a different one of the other autoimmune disorders, then it's possible that you'll have lupus. Not necessarily saying that it has to be lupus being the autoimmune disorder that
Right.
everybody carries. So, like I said, my father had diabetes. I had lupus. My oldest son had severely bad asthma that he had issues with his lungs when he was born. So, we can claim that that's just another autoimmune disorder that he picked up from me having the lupus. So there's no telling really. I don't think they got that much research in to be able to tell
Wow.
exactly how that works as far as family connections. Because I know quite a few people that family members close to them, parents, siblings, whatever, also don't have lupus. So, but then I know
Wow.
people who like they had lupus, their mama had lupus, their aunt had lupus, they had everybody going down the list all had it. So no telling. There's really no telling.
Wow. Well, thank y'all for that information because I really, like I said, I didn't know much about it. I did some research, but I didn't really like dig into like the family dynamics of it. I just really did research on what the disease is, the pain, everything it caused, the symptoms, that stuff, so I would know how to, deal with certain situations of people with lupus. So, man, thank y'all for coming in and talk to us and giving us some knowledge on
Thank y'all for
this
having us.
disease. Huh?
Thank you for
Thank
having
y'all
us.
for having us.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll definitely get y'all back to talk about some other stuff really about like the mental portion and anytime y'all want to come on if y'all have something going on for the lupus foundations, because this this is just an awareness month, but y'all live with lupus every day and
Right.
people do things for lupus every day. So if ever y'all have anything that's going on here, New Orleans, anywhere, and y'all want to come on and talk about it and let people know about it, just hit us up and let us know because we can easily just slide y'all in and let y'all talk about what's going on. A particular event, healthcare, testing, I mean anything, and just information. And the last thing I want to ask you guys is let people know where they can go to get information. Like, is there like a 800 number? Like there was an 800 number for depression and stuff like mental illness. Like, is there an 800 number? Is there a website that people can go to get more information and just to get more knowledgeable about this disease that you guys are dealing with every day?
So here, you can go to lupusga.org, and that'll bring you to the page that is the actual page for the Lupus Foundation Georgia chapter.
Okay.
The national chapter is based in DC. I'm not 100% sure what their main page is, but like I said, lupusga.org will bring you to the Lupus Foundation of America Georgia chapter page. If you scroll down on it, it has a link for different support groups. We have support groups in different cities. We have a support group that is specifically for men living with lupus. Like I said, I'll be starting a support group here in East Point in August. Um, there's tons of information on there. They update it daily. The Lupus Foundation of America Georgia chapter has a Facebook page, also an Instagram page. They put up pictures of events going on around the different health fairs, whatever stuff they have going on. We have it's with I believe GSK has a platform called Us in Lupus, where if you sign up with Us in Lupus through GSK, you get they give you like journals that you could document your information in. They have where you could sign up with them directly, and there's tons of information there, and it's kind of an interactive thing where you can give them information and they'll give you things back, like stuff you could do to bring down your blood pressure, or different recipes, things like that. And also Arenia Pharmaceuticals, they're doing excuse me, a campaign with Tony Braxton right now,
Yeah,
about the importance of
I saw
testing,
that.
having your kidneys tested, and making sure that the doctors do urine tests every time you go to the rheumatologist, because they can check your kidney functioning through urine tests, and a lot of times they'll tell you if you have kidney involvement with lupus. Once you get to the point where it affects your kidneys, then you've reached the worst stage of lupus. And mine started with kidney problems, so it's been like I can't really go downhill if I already started at the lowest point. So we just
Yeah.
here and doing. But yeah, and if at any point in time the number to the foundation is 770-333-5930. Like I said, you call up and just ask to talk to the one with lupus, and I'm easy to find after that.
Okay. Well, we thank you guys so much. My cousin dropped off. She probably trying to get them kids out that building, but we appreciate you coming on and sharing your information and really just letting us into your everyday life and what you deal with lupus. Again, I tip my hat to you guys because, honey, my feet hurt and my neck hurt. I ain't trying to do nothing, and I see you guys work through all of this pain all the time. I know you do, and I know she does. And it's just amazing that you guys have the strength to do what you do and still be able to go about your day. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for giving us some more knowledge about lupus that we did not have. And that I, even as a nurse, I did not know because it's not my field, it's not my area. So thank you for educating me on the things that I didn't know. And again, we appreciate you so much. Y'all,
Thank you for
listen, thank
opening
you
the
guys.
platform, because we need more people to do this, to give folks the opportunity to share any kind of awareness. So thank you, like all of you guys. I really appreciate it. Lisa, Kiki, y'all been through here. You seen the daily process and what goes on up in here. So I appreciate you guys, because y'all are the type of support system that people need to get through. So thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Well, we try to keep up with the month and what awareness things are going on in those months, and we try to talk about it and we try to give information. But it's not all serious. Now we do have some fun nights, we clown, we do different things, but I wanted to build this platform just for that, really, to give information, to whether it's good information, bad information, crazy information, right, wrong information. We try to give what we can, but we try to make sure any information we putting out there is right. We fact checked it and we've done our research. Or we have people on who can fact check for us or give us the correct information to put out there to the public.
Mhm.
So We thank you guys. Anybody that tuned in, make sure that if you have any questions about lupus, you can go to the Lupus Foundation of America, and you can search the Georgia chapter and you can find out anything that's going on in Georgia. You can always hit us up at on our Ladies Den page and ask any questions. You can email us at theladiesden23@gmail.com and we can answer your questions. If we don't know it, trust me, we'll research it and we'll get back to you with any answers. But you ladies have any other questions? No, y'all good?
Don't have any questions? Did you want to talk about this again?
Well, this is just a flyer for the health fair that we're doing. We're gonna post it on the Ladies Den page. I am still looking for oh, and my cousin just put it's the Louisiana Lupus Foundation for Louisiana. So we'll post that in the comments too, if you want any information on lupus in Louisiana. So it's the Louisiana Lupus Foundation. So that, and also for my back to school drive and health fair, I am still looking for health vendors, nursing homes, labs, doctors' offices, breast cancer, prostate, American heart, American diabetes. Well, I already have American heart and American diabetes, but I need a prostate cancer, colon cancer, any of those people that are out there if you want to participate. I'm also looking for regular vendors, food vendors, product vendors, any type of she came back on. Any type of vendors out there that want to vend at this health fair. Please feel free to contact me at my phone number on the flyer. Again, we will have the bloodmobile. Bloodmobile will be doing free HIV testing, COVID testing, blood pressure checks, and whatever other free testing that we can get prior to this health fair to be a part of this health fair. So if you know anybody, share the flyer, tag somebody, call me so we can get you a spot for this health fair. And also keep in mind that it is a back to school drive. So we're looking for guests to bring empty backpacks or backpack filled with school supplies. So that's that. And again, if you're in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, surrounding areas, and you want any information on lupus, you can contact the Louisiana Lupus Foundation for any other information. Cousin, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
That's it. You can go to their website, the Louisiana Lupus Foundation. Just thanks to everyone that came in and tuned in to get the information. Share the information with your loved ones and your friends. Spread awareness about Lupus Awareness Month. And let's get this research and this taken care of. Get yourself tested.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. Join us next week. We're on every Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Make sure you go and follow us on Facebook at The Ladies Den, Instagram at The Ladies Den 2023, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Ladies Den Podcast. We'll see y'all next week in the den.
Buy you diva, let them know that you're ready.
It's Thursday night, they at it again. You got it locked into the ladies den. It's Lady K, Kiki too, plus the Bayou Diva. You know how they do. From breaking news to favorite foods. She was popping in the city, hot topics too. Advice for your issues if you need to grab a tissue. Just wait till a break, they may say something that'll fit you. Amazing guests live on set. You can laugh to your heart's content. They appreciate the love cause it's truly a blessing. My name's Saga Boss and I approve this message.
Ain't no room for hating. Enjoy the entertainment. You are locked in to the ladies' den.
Oh, that way.
So there's no
I always go the wrong way.
love what they're doing.
In that way.
You are locked in to the ladies' den.
The Ladies Den, Thursday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell them Saga sent you.